Have you ever finished a 12-hour workday and felt like you accomplished nothing? You checked every box, answered every email, crossed off every task on that endless to-do list, but you still feel empty, exhausted, and somehow behind. Here's the truth nobody's talking about. We're confusing busyness with productivity. We're mistaking activity for actual achievement, and it's burning us out. But what if I told you there's a better way? A way to do less but accomplish what actually matters. It's called mindful productivity, and it's about to change everything. If you're ready to work smarter, not just harder, you're exactly where you need to be. Hit that subscribe button so we can build this focused, intentional life together. Let's dive in. The problem. The productivity trap. Let me paint you a picture. Maybe you'll recognize yourself in it. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You have 17 browser tabs open. You're jumping between a spreadsheet, 3 different Slack conversations, your overflowing inbox, and that report that's almost done. Every notification pulls your attention in a new direction. You're moving, but are you actually getting anywhere? And here's what makes it worse. You feel guilty taking breaks. Like if you step away for 10 minutes, you're somehow lazy or uncommitted. So you push through, checking things off your list without ever stopping to ask the most important question: why am I even doing this? Then comes Sunday night, that heavy feeling in your chest, because you know tomorrow the hamster wheel starts spinning again. I've been there. I used to measure my worth by my calendar density. If every hour wasn't color-coded and blocked off, I felt lazy. But I was so busy being busy that I forgot to ask, busy doing what? Busy for whom? Busy toward which actual goal? Here's what the research tells us. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%. Think about that. Nearly half your potential, gone. We're not built for constant output. We're built for intentional focus. And here's what I need you to hear. You're not failing at productivity. You're succeeding at the wrong game. And that changes today. The shift. What mindful productivity actually means. So what's the alternative? What does mindful productivity actually look like? Here's the simplest way I can explain it. Mindful productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters with full presence. Think of it like this. Imagine stress is a rubber band. Mindless productivity keeps stretching it tighter and tighter and tighter until eventually it snaps. Mindful productivity? It asks a completely different question. Do I even need this rubber band right now? It's a paradigm shift, and it's built on 3 foundational pillars. First, awareness. This means knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it in real time. Not autopilot task completion where you're just checking boxes, but conscious choice. Every single action is deliberate. Second, intention. This is about aligning your actions with your actual values and goals, not someone else's expectations or your inbox's demands. Every task you say yes to serves a purpose you've deliberately chosen. And third, presence. Being fully engaged in the current task without distraction. Single tasking becomes a radical act of respect for your own time and energy. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Picture this. You're writing an important report. Mindless productivity says, get it done while also checking Slack, answering emails, and listening to a podcast. Multitask your way to the finish line. Mindful productivity says, this report matters. For the next 45 minutes, it's the only thing that exists. Which version do you think produces better work? Which version leaves you feeling energized instead of completely drained? The answer is obvious, right? And yet most of us default to the first approach every single day. If you're feeling this shift already, if something's clicking, do me a favor and tap that like button. Let's tell YouTube that more people need to hear this message. The breakthrough. 5 practical ways to practice. Mindful productivity. All right, here's where theory becomes practice. I'm going to give you 5 strategies that will transform how you work. Not by adding more to your plate, but by subtracting what doesn't serve you. Let's go. Strategy 1. Start with the why. Audit. Here's the problem. We inherit tasks without ever questioning them. Someone asks, we say yes. An email arrives, we respond. A meeting gets scheduled, we attend. We're on autopilot. But here's your new morning ritual. Before you dive into your to-do list, ask yourself 3 powerful questions. Why am I doing this? Whose goal does this serve? What actually happens if I don't do it? Now take every item on your list and categorize it into one of 3 buckets. E, essential. These are the tasks that move your core goals forward. The non-negotiables that create real progress. H, helpful. These support others or the team, but they drain your energy and time. They're nice to do, but not critical to your mission. N, noise, pure noise. Tasks born from habit, obligation, or fear. The things you do because you think you should, not because they matter. Here's your action step. Today, right after this video, take your to-do list and mark each item as E, H, or N. Then for the first 3 hours of your day, focus exclusively on your ES. Nothing else. Watch what happens. I'll tell you what happened for one of my clients. She did this exercise and discovered that 40% of her daily tasks were pure noise. Things she thought she should be doing, but that literally no one ever followed up on. She'd been spending 2 hours every day on work that didn't matter to anyone, including herself. When she eliminated that noise, she got her evenings back. Strategy 2, time blocking with intention. Here's the problem with how most of us schedule our day. We block out vague chunks of work time and hope we'll be productive. But open-ended time invites distraction. Your brain has no target, no finish line, no purpose. So here's what changes everything. Instead of writing work on project in your calendar, get specific. Create focus blocks that include both the task and the intention behind it. Here's what I mean. Instead of 9 to 10:30, write report, you write 9 to 10:30, write report draft. Intention, provide clarity for team decision by Friday. See the difference? When you name the intention, your brain suddenly has a target. You're not just working, you're working towards something specific. You know what success looks like. You know why this hour matters. Here's your action step. Tomorrow morning, block out 90 minutes. At the top of a blank page or document, write both what you'll do and why it matters. Then protect that block like it's a meeting with your most important client. Because it is. That client is your future self. Don't check email. Don't answer Slack. Don't just quickly do anything else. This is sacred time. Honor it. Strategy 3. The one-task rule. Let's talk about multitasking. Here's the truth. Multitasking is a lie our culture tells us. It sounds productive. It feels like you're getting more done, but you're not. Here's the practice, and it's almost too simple. Choose one task. Close all other tabs. Close all other apps. Turn off your notifications. Set a timer for 25 to 45 minutes and do only that one thing. I know what you're thinking, but I need to stay responsive. I need to be available. Here's what the research actually says. Stanford University proved that people who multitask regularly are actually worse at filtering irrelevant information and switching between tasks than those who don't. Read that again. We think we're getting better at juggling, but we're actually training ourselves to be distracted. Think about it this way. Imagine trying to have 3 conversations at once. You'd miss the depth, the nuance, the actual connection in all 3. Your work is the same way. When you split your attention, you don't just do 3 things poorly. You rob each task of the quality it deserves. Here's your action step. Right after this video ends, pick one task, just one, and give it 25 undivided minutes. No phone, no email, no, I'll just quickly check this. Notice how it feels different. Notice the quality of what you produce. Notice how much more present you are. Strategy 4. Micro breaks as productivity tools. Here's a belief that's quietly destroying your productivity. We think breaks are weakness. We think stepping away is wasting time. So we power through hour after hour, wondering why our brain feels like it's moving through mud by 3 p.m. Let me reframe this for you. Your brain needs recovery to maintain quality output. Breaks aren't the opposite of productivity. They're the foundation of it. Here's the practice. Every 50 to 60 minutes, take a 5 to 10-minute break. And I mean a real break. Walk away from your screen. Stretch or move your body, even if it's just around your room. Look at something 20 feet away or further. Your eyes need this. And here's the hardest part. Do absolutely nothing productive. No podcasts, no catching up on messages, nothing. Here's why this works. Neuroscience shows that the brain's default mode network, which activates during rest, is actually when we make creative connections and solve problems subconsciously. Your brain is working when you're resting. It's sorting, connecting, problem-solving in the background. Some of your best ideas won't come when you're grinding. They'll come when you give your mind space to wander. Here's your action step. Set a timer right now, not later, right now. Every hour today, stand up for 5 minutes. Don't scroll, don't check your phone. Just breathe and reset. Your afternoon productivity will prove this works. Strategy 5, the evening review ritual. Here's the final strategy, and it might be the most powerful one, the evening review ritual. Here's the problem. Most of us end our workdays by just stopping. We close the laptop, walk away, and have no idea what we actually accomplished. We feel busy, we feel tired, but we can't name what we did. And that lack of clarity, it's what creates that nagging feeling that you're never doing enough. So here's the practice. Spend just 5 minutes at the end of each day asking yourself 3 simple questions. 1. What did I accomplish today that moved my goals forward? 2. What drained my energy without adding real value? And 3. What's one thing I want to do differently tomorrow? Think of this like a coach reviewing game footage. You're not judging yourself. You're not beating yourself up for what didn't get done. You're learning from yourself. Each day becomes data that makes tomorrow better. This isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. When you start tracking what actually moves the needle versus what just keeps you busy, everything changes. Here's your action step. Tonight, before you close your laptop, open a note on your phone. Answer those 3 questions. That's it. Do this for 1 week, just 7 days, and you'll spot patterns you never noticed before. You'll see which tasks consistently drain you. You'll see which ones light you up. And you'll finally have evidence of the progress you're making, even on days that feel chaotic. The payoff, what changes? When you practice this. So what happens when you actually practice these 5 strategies? What changes? Let me paint you a picture of what's possible. Imagine waking up knowing exactly what matters today. Not 47 things screaming for your attention, but the 3 to 5 things that actually move your life forward. You have clarity. You have direction. Picture the freedom of saying no to requests that don't align with your goals. Guilt-free, because you know your yes is already spoken for. You're not being selfish. You're being intentional. Imagine ending your workday with energy left over. Not collapsing on the couch, scrolling mindlessly because you're too drained to do anything else, but actually having energy for your family, your hobbies, yourself. Now let me be real with you. Will every day look like this immediately? Some days you'll slip back into the chaos. You'll find yourself with 17 tabs open again, multitasking your way through the afternoon. That's not failure. That's being human. But here's what matters. Each time you notice and redirect, you're building the muscle of mindful productivity. You're training yourself to choose differently. And here's the deeper truth. This isn't just about getting more done. It's about reclaiming your attention, your time, your life from the constant noise that tells you you're never doing enough. You are enough. Your focused, intentional effort on what truly matters, that's more than enough. Let me leave you with this. Mindful productivity is the antidote to hustle culture's poison. It's choosing quality over quantity, intention over obligation, presence over performance. Here's your challenge. Pick just one of these 5 strategies. Not all 5, just one. Practice it for the next 7 days. Notice what shifts in your work, your energy, your sense of accomplishment. And if this video gave you even one idea that could change how you work, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but because you deserve a feed that fuels your growth instead of feeding your overwhelm. Drop a comment below. Which strategy are you starting with? I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious what resonates with you. You've got this. Not because you're going to do everything perfectly, but because you're willing to do something differently. That's where all real change begins. I'll see you in the next one.